Fans, welcome back to part two of this week's segment on the Bob and Ron Show, temporarily the Bob and Ned Show. The second half of today's episode on the 26th of October will be all about football, and that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Ned, what do you say we get right into this here, and let's talk about this weekend coming up. We got some games, okay?
Yes.
Some games that are worth some attention. We have MSU crucial game, number 5 right now in the polls, going against number 18 Iowa. This could make or break MSU season.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if they lose, they could fall apart. They've proven that in several years past that a crucial loss for them is just a bridge burner. I mean, it will collapse their entire season.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with you still got a game at Happy Valley at the end of the year versus Penn State, and you got 2 games which should be wins versus Purdue and Minnesota, but a loss at Iowa this week could really put the rest of the season in one gigantic question mark.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't like to see that because this is a team that not only right now has a clear road to win the Big Ten and have a shot at the Rose Bowl, this is also a team that has an outside shot at a national championship appearance. I mean, you got to look at this.
Oh, absolutely. And if they could beat Iowa on Saturday, it's an easy road. Not necessarily easy, but relatively easy up until the game in Happy Valley.
Yeah, I agree.
And what they really need to do is they need to focus on the run game, which has got them through this entire season.
Well, and I mean, as we touched on.
Yeah, we touched on this previously, and I mentioned Adrian Claiborne. Adrian Claiborne. He's a defensive end for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Possibly top 10 pick in this upcoming NFL draft. Go Lions.
And I mean, anytime that you have a guy like that coming across the other side of the ball, I mean, that can really just screw up everything in your offense, whether it be the running game, whether it be the passing game, or whether it be the coaching game. I mean, this guy is just a complete disruptive signal coming across the radio waves of the Michigan State sidelines, and I don't like it.
Oh, he's already going to be disruptive to begin with because you have to know that Michigan State's going to be key double teaming him the entire game, and if not triple teaming at times. I mean, you'd see games, for instance, with our boy Rondown Su. He's not that Go Lions. I mean, that type of impactful player is going to be a key focus for the opposing team, and you have to focus on him because if you shut him down, you're pretty much shutting the entire Iowa defensive front down. And if you can do that, it's crucial. And I think that's the whole key to the game. It's going to be in the trenches. If MSU's line can shut down their defensive line, I am serious. I really think that MSU could beat them by a margin of at least 14 points.
And I agree with you on that. But the question is Claiborne containable? I mean, is this a guy that even if they do contain him, Iowa has a very good defense. They have a very good pass defense as well, and that's the thing. It's a little bit underrated, but look what they did. They played Wisconsin very tough last week.
And that's what I was just going to talk about right there. Is I'm going to bring up Kamari. He's an offensive tackle for the Wisconsin Badgers. He's also going to be one of those top, NFL draft prospects coming out of next year.
First round for sure.
First round for sure, indeed. And he did a good job on Adrian Claiborne, all last week. And then he didn't get any pressure on the quarterback. He was kind of limited in the run game. I mean, he had his tackles, but he didn't have a single sack. And it was and if we can get that done, I really think we could do the same thing that Wisconsin did to the Iowa defense. And that's still run the ball effectively, but yet play action is going to be big in this game.
I agree. And now, what about the other side of the ball? What about Michigan State's defense going against the Iowa offense? What about Ricky Stanzi getting into that MSU secondary, which has faced a lot of criticism this year? And, there still isn't any word on if Chris L. Rucker is going to be back, which would be a huge boost to this team. Do you think that could also be a potential area of disaster and, possibly one of those Achilles heels for the Spartans?
I mean, it could either go either way, obviously. I mean, Chris L. Rucker, I think, it's obviously a loss, but the fact of the matter remains we've done a good job when we first lost them initially against the University of Michigan, when we beat them handily. and we didn't have him in the secondary. We shut down Denard Robinson. I'm not saying Denard Robinson and Ricky Stanzi are the same type of quarterback, but if you can shut down a quality quarterback such as Denard Robinson, and this was the first team, if you look back, Michigan State was the first team to actually contain Denard Robinson.
For sure. Yeah.
And if they can do that again this week against Ricky Stanzi, then I really,
Well, you know that they have the coaching, with D'Antonio and Narduzzi to really,
absolutely,
to really pinpoint the areas of focus and make them a priority for this club, in the upcoming weeks, saying this is what we need to focus on, this is what we need to get rid of, this is who we need to stop. And, they have been able to do that versus Michigan, versus Illinois to some extent, especially in the second half. Northwestern, not so much with Persa, but as the game wore on, they were able to in-game focus on and say, hey, this guy's killing us, we need to step up, we need to do this, and they did contain him in the latter part of the game, which is why they were able to have that fourth quarter comeback. So I think that the MSU coaching is also, it's such a strong point for this club. I think that it's a good shot that they come out of Iowa with a victory. I don't know about a 14-point victory here. I'm going to say they win by 10. I'm going to say score 34-24 in favor of Michigan State, paving the road for a Spartan Big Ten title.
And one more thing before we move on, you related to the fact of the strong point of MSU's coaching being a key factor in their their 8-0 season. You cannot take away the impact that Kurt Ferenz has on the Iowa team as well. This is a guy who's been talked about several times for becoming a candidate for an NFL coach. So he's got what it takes, and he's going to gear his guys up for this week. So be prepared for an excellent, hard fought, just October Big Ten. It's going to be a fantastic game.
Iowa, I love it.
It's going to be sweet.
But all these Spartan girls aren't going to be going, oh my God, Gerard Butler's here, because it's on the road. Yeah. So it's going to be tough for this club. Okay, I'm sick and tired of hearing about that, because really the guy didn't go to Michigan State. He has no affiliation with the school. Why the hell is he here to begin with? I don't know, but the fans love it for some reason. But they got to gear up. They're on the road now. They're in enemy territory. Okay, Gerard Butler's gone. Yeah. All right, and they really need to step up. They need to pull their pants up, tighten the belts, because it's going to be rough. It's going to be hard, and they're going to have to trek through some mud to get to the promised land this week.
Twinkies.
Anyway, moving on, we have U of M going at Penn State this week, and I don't know about you, but I was extremely shocked to see that U of M is actually favored to win this game at night. It's an 8 p.m. start at Happy Valley. How do they get that?
I think it's mostly based on the fact that Michigan had a bye week last week. They had now 2 weeks to prepare and practice for this game, and you're talking about a Penn State team right now that's reeling, and on the other hand, you got a Michigan team that has a lot to prove. This is true. This is back-to-back, almost now back-to-back years that they're going to be facing a potential losing season in the Big Ten. And that is not something they want at all. 1-2 to start the year.
Well, yeah, and you know that Rich Rod's on the hot seat.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, especially after the bye week, Denard had that shoulder injury in their last game, but now he said that he's 100%. I just read that in the paper today, and he's ready to go. So with 100% Denard Robinson ready to go at Penn State, I think this is a team. Yeah, they have a lot to prove. And yeah, they started out 5-0. They had a few close games early on in the season. They were ranked, and now it's been the same story the past few years for U of M, that they've fallen off. This is your chance to step up and say, hey, we're for real. We're not going to fall down this year. Believe in us. But, it's been really hard for the fans to keep believing when, it's the same story for the past few years where they've just had meltdowns. To me, this is the critical do-or-die point for Rich Rod, where you say, okay, this is time where no excuses, okay, we have our quarterback, we have our offense in place, we have our weapons. I don't care if he's a sophomore, I don't care if he's a senior, I don't care who you got, here and there. You got to go out, you got to play your game, you got to execute, and you got to win these games.
Oh, okay? Absolutely. It's the same book, different chapter. It was the same thing with Tate Forcier last year. Everybody had him hyped up to be the next big thing. And as a Michigan quarterback, he fell apart during the Big Ten competition. We're seeing it right now with Denard Robinson.
Yeah, and that's just all there is to it. And hey, Denard, we love you, but, if you're for real, show it to us, okay? We'll have you on the Bob and Ron show for a little heart-to-heart. But I got to say, buddy, you're letting me down and you're letting the whole state down, too, because if you're not going to pull through and be somebody, then we don't want you here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to some lines.
Oh, please.
At Washington this week, and I don't mean to say at Washington because it's a home game.
It is.
Matthew Stafford is back for this team, number 9.
Professional handshake.
And I am so excited.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I'll tell you, every time I think about it, I have a hard time keeping my clothes on because, I don't know why I want to get naked, but I love it. I love Matthew Stafford. And this guy gets me so excited, I want to run and just scream.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford. It's just, I love it. I love the energy he brings to this team. And now that he's back, after this bye week, he's had a chance to really get recouped and ready. Javid Best returning from that turf toe.
Absolutely.
A little brutal. Calvin's going to be back. He's going to be 100% after that shoulder. And, you got, this is a team who they're rested. And this is a game versus Washington that they need to win. Because Washington is one of those teams, they have a great defense. Their offense is, a little bit, back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even with McNabb, the running game, Portis is out. Ryan Terrain has been a great backup. But you got to say, you just got to come in, especially with the way that they've played the Giants, the way that they've played the Eagles, games that they could have won. This is a game where they need to get in there, get dirty, and just come out with a good old solid Lions win.
Oh, it's a crucial game for the Lions because it's been in the past years we've had problems with blackouts in this region, including Detroit. Yeah. And I think if they could come out today, I think there will not be a blackout in this game because it's only the second home game of the season. If they can come out and they can look good against the Washington Redskins, it's going to be a crucial win for us for this game. For obviously this game and down the road.
For the rest of the season.
For the rest of the season. And another person that you didn't talk about who is coming back from injury, which is huge for me, is DeAndre Levy. Yeah. The fact that we've had so many injuries to the linebacking position. Zach Follett just got a neck injury last week. We signed Dan Carpenter to replace him. He's a former first-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys.
I want to touch a little bit on Carpenter after you're done talking about Levy.
Well, it's just like he's the anchor of our middle. He's the Stafford that we've been missing for our offense. Even though Sean Hill did a great job for our team initially when he came in, he's injured now. But Stafford just brings this, like he said, you get excited. Yeah. He brings a different game to the Detroit Lions. He brings something swagger and confidence.
Not only swagger and confidence, but something that the whole Lions fan base has been missing for years, and that word is called hope.
Oh, the game against the Browns. I think it was that game that he showed the grit that we wanted from a quarterback.
Exactly.
We invested so much money into different players like Joey Harrington. God bless him.
I love him.
Good guy. Just couldn't get it done. He didn't have the, what did you call it? Cojones?
The chutzpah.
The chutzpah. He didn't have that. He didn't have it.
And that's the thing about Levy, though, is that, he was a third-round pick last year.
Looked good last year as well.
He did. And this is his chance. He hasn't really been 100% all season. He's been kind of easing back.
Fighting the groin injury at the beginning of the year initially, and the ankle when he finally got back in that game.
This is his chance to get in here now and just really set the record straight on who he is and why he's here.
Oh, absolutely. He needs to come in strong, and if he doesn't, this could actually be the kind of the door opening for him to get, to exit. Yeah. Because we've had linebacking problems for years now.
Yeah,
we've been wanting that.
We all remember when he said the Teddy Lehman.
The Teddy Lehman, yeah. God, he's injury prone though. Yeah. Exactly. If he could have been healthy, it would have been a different story.
Now the thing about Dan Carpenter, I like him. Former first-round pick, as you said. Yes. He's been in a few different 3-4 schemes throughout the NFL. Did not work. Now he's coming to Detroit to try something different. When you can bring in a guy with former first-round talent, there's something there. I think he could be a valid choice off the bench for this club and contribute. And if not on defense, at least on special teams.
Oh, if you remember him coming out, it was the same year that his former teammate A.J. Hawk came out. Currently the Green Bay Packers. Sorry. I hate the Packers. Anyways, some said that actually Carpenter was a better linebacker than A.J. Hawk was. And, if he could restore that form that he was once in for the Ohio State Buckeyes, I think he's just going to be a solid pickup. Much like other players that, other teams gave up on, such as Alfonso Smith, Chris Houston, and, Corey Williams, defensive tackle, who's having a great year for us.
Real quick, prediction.
I think the Lions are going to win this game, actually.
Score.
It's always
35-24 Lions.
I was going to say 35 too, but I'm going to go with 35-17 Lions.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Monday on the Bob and Ron Show.